and welcome back to Matthew Wister. Today we're going to cover another chemistry topic, specifically moles-to-mole ratios. So let's just get right into it. Here is the formula for how to solve or how to convert from one mole to another mole. What you need to know is the given value or the given amount of moles multiplied by the moles of the unknown value, the value they want to convert to, divided by the moles of the known value that you have. This will make more sense once we actually do an example. You'll be able to see the dimensional analysis. So here we have silver, nitric acid, silver nitrate, water, and nitrogen monoxide. It's asking for ratios of specific moles to other moles. So let's see. First it asks for silver to water. So how many silver atoms or how many silver moles do we have in this equation? So we have 1 Ag here. So here we have 3 Ags. So 3 would go here. I'm going to do this in blue. So in this equation, we have 3 Ags, and water, we have 2 H2Os. So the ratio from silver to water is 3 to 2. You can also rewrite it as a fraction of 3 over 2. Now it's asking for silver to silver nitrate. So we know that we have 3 silver, and now here we have 3 silver nitrates. So it's 3 to 3. And you can also rewrite it as 3 over 3, which is also equal to 1, or 1 to 1 ratio. Now it's asking for the ratio of nitric acid to water. So we have 4 nitric acid and we have 2 water. So you can write it as 4 over 2, which is also just 2, or 2 to 1, a 2 to 1 ratio. So these are your ratios. These ratios are going to help you, and they can serve as similarly to a conversion factor. So let's just do these. So now let's answer these questions relating to this equation. So it's asking how many moles of silver are needed to react with 40 moles of nitric acid. So we want to find how many silver with the moles of nitric acid. So our given value is 40 moles of nitric acid. And nitric acid is written as HNO3. HNO3. So that represents 40 moles of nitric acid. Now we have to multiply it by the mole of our unknown over our mole of known. So we don't know how many of silver, but how many moles of silver do we have? Well, up here it says that we have 3 moles of silver. So we would have 3 Ag over the mole of our known value, so nitric acid. Here we have 4 known nitric acids, so we would write 4HNO3. Now we do a dimensional analysis. So we can eliminate the nitric acid because they cancel each other out, and now we just multiply. So we do 4 times 3 over 4, which is the same thing as 120 over 4, which is the same thing as 30. So our answer would be 30 moles of Ag. For the next question, it says how many moles of silver, silver nitrate are produced from 40 moles of nitric acid. So we're still using nitric acid, so it's still going to be 40 HNO3 multiplied by, what are we looking for? Silver nitrate. How many silver nitrate moles do we have here? We have 3. So we're going to write 3 AgNO3 over the moles of our known, which is still the same, 4 HNO3. And it's literally the same thing. It would be 40 times 3 over 4 is equal to 120 over 4, which is also 30, which leads up to 30 moles, but this time of silver nitrate. So it would be AgNO3. That would be your answer for that one. The next one. How many moles of water will be produced from 40 moles of nitric acid? So our given value is basically the same for all of these questions. So 40HNO3 multiplied by what moles are unknown to us? Water. And how much water do we have? We have 2 moles of water. So 2H2O. And how many moles of nitric acid do we have? It is still the same. So 4HNO3. Oh, I forgot to do this here, but you have to take these out and you do the same here. You cancel these out and you do 40 times 2 over 4, which is something as 80 over 4, which is 20. So our answer will be 20 moles of H2O. Last but not least, how many moles of nitrogen monoxide will be made from 40 moles of nitric acid? So once again, our given value remains the same, 40HNO3 times. So we're looking for nitrogen monoxide. How many of that do we have? We have only 1. So we would write 1NO. We cancel these out and we do 40 times 1 over 4, which is 40 over 4, which is 10. So our final answer would be 10 moles of nitrogen monoxide. And that would be our answer. And if you're having a hard time figuring out what the names are think of the process of elimination almost. So for silver, you can figure that out with your periodic table elements. For silver nitrate, that silver is Ag, and nitrate, you can get that from nitrogen. So that would be silver nitrate. Water, you already know that's H2O. And nitrogen, the N, and then mono means 1, oxide, oxygen, that's the O. And then last but not least, just this one would be nitric acid. So if you're ever having a hard time, try to look at the words that may seem similar or familiar to you and just check out the ones that you already know or can find easily. And yeah, I hope this was helpful.